Hello. Today I want to talk about something that almost every prodigal parent wrestles with, even if we don't always say it out loud. What does loving my adult child actually look like now? Not when they were younger, not when we had more influence, not when they lived under our roof, but now as adults, with choices we don't agree with, paths we wouldn't have chosen, and consequences we can't prevent. And if you've ever thought, I love them, but I don't know how to love them well anymore, this video is for you. Loving an adult prodigal child is deeply different than loving them when they were a child. As parents, we're wired to protect, guide, correct, and rescue. And those instincts don't disappear just because our children turn 18. But what happens when those same instincts, as well intended as they are, start creating tension and distance or pain? Many parents find themselves stuck between two extremes, either doing too much or pulling back completely. And neither of those places bring peace. One of the hardest truths on this prodigal journey is accepting that love has to evolve. Love doesn't end, but the expression of love changes. What worked when your child was younger may not work now. And that doesn't mean you're failing, it means the season has shifted. Loving an adult child is no longer about direction, it's about presence. No longer about control, but about character. And it's no longer about outcomes, but about faithfulness. Let me pause here and invite you to reflect. I want you to ask yourself, am I loving my adult child the same way I did when they were younger? Or the way this season actually requires? There is no shame in this question or the answer, only awareness. One of the most freeing shifts a prodigal parent can make is releasing the need to fix. When our child is struggling, our instinct is to intervene or advise or correct or rescue or control. But adult children often don't experience that as love, they experience it as pressure. Faithful presence says, I am here, I love you, and I am steady. It does not mean approval, it means availability. Sometimes the most loving thing we can do is remain calm and consistent and anchored, even when everything in us wants to act. Scripture reminds us, be still and know that I am God. And that is in Psalm 46 chapter and the 10th verse. Stillness is not passivity, it is trust. Another place love needs to mature is moving from fear driven love to peace rooted love. Fear says, if I don't do something, everything will fall apart. But peace says, God is still God, even when I'm not in control. Fear says, chase, push, over explain, over function. But peace allows us to respond thoughtfully instead of reacting emotionally. This doesn't happen overnight, it happens through intentional pauses, prayer, and self awareness. Peace rooted love might look like this: not responding immediately to a triggering text, choosing not to argue when the conversation turns defensive, ending a conversation kindly when it becomes unproductive, or saying I love you without adding a lesson afterward. These small shifts create emotional safety even when agreement isn't present. One of the quiet dangers of the prodigal journey is losing yourself in your child's choices. Love was never meant to cost you your peace or your health or your spiritual grounding. Loving well includes caring for your own heart. God is just as concerned with who you are becoming as he is with where your child is going. You are allowed to rest, you are allowed to set boundaries, and you are allowed to find joy again. Loving an adult prodigal child well is not about saying or doing everything perfectly. It's about remaining loving without enabling and present without controlling and faithful without losing hope. This kind of love is strong, it's mature, and it reflects the heart of God. You are learning how to love again, not less, but wiser. So, in the next video, we'll talk about what to do when your adult child pulls away and how to respond without chasing or shutting down. You don't have to walk this journey alone.